Let's rewrite some BSD shell commands. Now, looking down the list of BSD bin commands, we have change flags, change IO, and change mode. We're going to give change IO a miss. That's for when your magnetic tape drive has multiple tapes in it. I mean, I don't even have one magnetic tape, so we can skip that. And we'll come back to change flags later. For now, change mode, or chmod or chmod, or however you say it. I mean, I'm probably going to be all over the map with my pronunciation. Just like last time, we're going to ignore flags, and a lot of BSD's change mode implementation is about how to correctly change the mode of symbolic links. We're just going to pretend like symlinks don't exist. Map a key to run the file, and what is it that change mode does? It can set a file's permissions by taking an octal number that represents a bit field of which of those permissions are enabled, or it can use its own notation. Like if I want to set a file to be executable, I can just write change mode plus executable, and it will make it so. And even do more complicated things like set different permissions for groups and owners, or do that all in one command. Our change mode should convert either of those into an octal number that we pass to the system call change mode, which will then set the actual file permissions for us. And on BSD, there's a library for converting all of this notation to the correct bit field called setMode and getMode, so we'll look that up and see if we can use it. We'll need at least the desired mode in a file name. If we get less than that, we'll exit, and we may want to tell the user why we exited, but I'll pass right on by that for now. The arguments we'll use are the mode and the path. The first argument was the name of the executable, so we skipped that and gotten the mode and the path. We'll look at the first character of the string mode to see if it's an octal digit, and we'll do that by checking if its ASCII number is in the range between 48, which is 0, and 55, which is 7. Instead of having to know these numbers by heart, we can just compare characters directly. We'll convert this to an octal number by using string to long, and there are a bunch of ways that this can fail, so we're going to use the C error API to report how it failed. The first way is if the number was larger than permissions can be, so we'll check that it's smaller than the max integer size, or greater than 0. If something's wrong, we'll use the error number and error headers, which have the global variable error number, and we'll set that to a range error if we are out of range. Swap those around because string to long can also set the error number. If we find an error in string to long or that range, we'll exit with an error message. In this case, the file mode was invalid. String to long will also tell us if we had characters that were not valid numbers by setting this pointer, so we'll check for that too. And if everything's still okay, we have the actual octal mode and it's only int length, so we'll cast it back. The other case is using setMode to interpret the plus x notation. Now, I admit I naively expected setMode to set the mode and getMode to get it, but hold up, I think these are backwards? Okay, after reading this for a bit and getting completely confused, I can kind of understand why someone would name these in this way, but setMode does not set the mode, and neither does getMode get it. SetMode gives us a data structure to represent the difference between two modes, which I will give type void star to go along with the man page. SetMode has done memory allocation in order to give us this data structure, so I'm immediately going to write down that we should free that, and also do the usual check to see that we actually got what we asked for. SetMode has given us a data structure that's relative to the current mode, so we'll use the file stats to get that. When we're getting the file stats, we will need to get a struct to put that information in, and once we have that, we can look up the file stats. As usual, we should check that we actually got what we asked for, and if we didn't, we'll print out an error. In this case, just the path of the file whose stats we asked for. The current mode can be gotten from those stats. Make sure I have the correct type of variable to save that off into. And once we have that, we can use getMode, which should probably not be called that, to apply the mode change and get back the final octal number. The only thing we have left to do is call the operating system itself to change the mode of the file that we passed in. And once again, all operating system call, we gotta check if it worked. We will run this quickly to see if we haven't made any errors. We've made two. The first one is that I forgot to take the first character of that mode. And the second one is that the integer limits are in limits.h. That's where int max lives. It compiles all right. Now let's give it some arguments and see if it does the thing. We'll write out a new file which will have default permissions and try our own change mode to add executable. It works. And how about reset it back to normal using the other syntax? Also works. That's it. If you enjoyed this screencast, check out rewritinghistorycasts.com, where we are currently rewriting the first 3 commits of Git. Also, you can find the source code for this episode there. I'll put a link in the description. Finally, if you enjoy these casts, please tell people about them. I am only able to keep doing this with your support. Thank you.